Na'Vi actually opting to disengage from this.
What do you think? Yeah, I think
กูแพ้แค่นั้นแหละ
very interesting indeed. So Na'Vi probably said if we stay here and fight this, we might be screwed for phase 3 because it's not as central. And because they have a split where the other compound is a little further into circle, they're opting to go there instead rather than risk a prolonged fight because they didn't know how many people were coming up. Sakura Zensen, let's be honest, they caught them out a little bit because they got quite close before Na'Vi were able to respond, right? Normally, by the time a team gets that close to Na'Vi, they knocked 2 of them.
I'm gonna say this, and because I just love to see it. Na'Vi only because Elia parked his buggy the way and the place that he did, knowing that if things go wrong, we have to be able to go north to our teammates. Only because of that did they get out of there alive. Because the Crescensen were fast; they were there really quickly. But even despite that, they still got away because of a smart parked vehicle. Easy to do. Many teams get it. And now, well, speaking of vehicles, pretty much everyone except for Northern Lights going to need them because this one just hard shifted southwest.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Cue the Benny Hill music, everybody, because everyone outside of Circle is going to be rushing in fast as well. Sakura Zensen already halfway up the hill to the northwest of San Martin. That compound's actually going to be a great one to hold, so they're going to be pleased with that. And Tropic are running the gauntlet a little bit. They're several hundred meters away from every team, but there's also a team in pretty much every direction. So there's mixed fortunes there. Luca Rooks nursing a burning buggy with 3 tires. Not ideal.
I don't necessarily mind Entropic, going as aggressive and trying to get away from here as they are, because what they do right now is essentially guaranteeing placement points. Look at the amount of teams that are up towards you. If you sit in that melting pot when it pops off, there's no way you're getting out of there alive, and even if you do, you might just have one player up that can make that run for you, right? Second team now to make the run is going to be FaZe Clan. They're in trouble, though. Everyone in one car here falling apart by the second. Vex down, Diggory down. AC trying to stay put, but he's down to just 1 HP, and he's going to fall to Hibaku as well. Thunder finding all the kills, and it's just Gustav left alive.
Thunder saying thank you very much. The only player relatively safe from FaZe Clan is Gustav. Here we've got footballers pushing in on Heroic, and actually because they pushed into this compound very, very quickly and they forced Heroic back a bit, they should be able to get the revive onto Nail Cop if they want to as well. Heroic down to 3. Footballers have got a good foothold here.
Heroic needs to stand strong, though. They still have Page on the other side. He's getting into a vehicle now. Wants to come down and help out. Curious though to see if he's going to try and backstab on this, or if he's going to try and wrap all the way around. You can see him in the distance there, full speed with the vehicle down the hill. He goes for Corexi, taken down by Odin. Nice peek around the side. Odin, such a high impact player for this team. When they succeed, it's oftentimes what to do with Odin finding the impact kills first, and now he gets a second as well. Page, single player left alive for Heroic.
And Page here struggling because of third body from Ents as well. Rustenmar will finish him off. And as a result, Footballist will be able to continue at the expense of Heroic early on. It's a good start to today for Footballist.
Liquid trying to wrap underneath this as well, but losing Mexi. Vard is knocked as well. The wrestle and Mexi should happen, but Vard here very, very much left alone. Clip still in the compound, wanting to get away now as the entirety of Na'Vi has made the presence known.
Quizzy coming in to finish off Vard. We've got the rest of Liquid looking like... Oh, Mexi needs to heal, but James has joined Clip in this compound in the big brick. And Na'Vi, they're not giving them any time to establish themselves at all. Example is right next door to James. Manages to get the first couple of hits, but James manages to get the exchange. We need the rest of Liquid here, really, though, because Na'Vi are here in numbers.
Example falling down. Quizzy's here. Mexi's trying to come down and help now. So Blue on the edge. Alia, though, finding him mid-transition. Mexi not able to get to the wall to safety before he was taken out. Teams now to have HP as well. I like the way that they're wrapping around on this, but Clip finds Quizzy, gets the double down as well. Na'Vi now down to 2 as well.
That was a high-risk, high-reward revive there. I think they were 1 second away from being able to have 2 up. Team Liquid did well to come down to finish them off, and now we've got Northern Lights and Entropic. Not too far away from this either, to be fair. Northern Lights have got an excellent central bit of the circle, but they are also down in a valley. They have no high ground on anyone else.
Finds Elliot, one knock coming through for them. All the space they might need, yes, because now Na'Vi falls down. Issue is they still have Skate in front of them, but somehow it looked ugly to begin with both Bart and Mexi falling down, but Liquid lived to fight another day.
Thunder Thunder repositioning and Hal looking to come in on the southern side of the circle. Sakura Zensen on the edge, maybe not expecting someone to come up here like this. So they could be caught a little off guard with Hal wanting a piece of the pie. We've got Team Liquid, or what remains of Team Liquid, coming down the east. They're going to move into circle a little later than Skade. And now we have Footballists. They are high off of that win against Heroic. They're moving into Team Rage.
Talked about the chaos on the north, and it commences one more. Gluten, finds the first nail cup, falls down immediately. Look at this Road to Glory coming into third party. Right in behind him, Nate, locked way up in the air. We'll see if that's going to find anything. Nope, make that a Molotov. Difficult to see with the trajectory colors. Lassa, in the meantime, peeking around the side. His teammate falls down, and once again, it's Odin finding the damage. Flash now comes through. That's going to be good, forcing Lassa outside the building. Peek comes through, but Lassa is there to hold them off.
Unfortunate for Footballists. They were right to be confident. They had a fantastic engagement against Heroic, but the third party from Road to Glory was absolutely crisp. Chef's kiss level of good as far as timing is concerned. Now let's see if they can take on Team Rage.
Issue here as well is that, I mean, Road to Glory is still outside the circle. This fight, obviously, they have to take it, but then they have to move afterwards. The circle's already, well, the blue is already closing in, so they do not have that much time here, Nate.
Schofield's getting revived. They need to push in. That molly might be good. No, it's not far enough. And actually, Team Rage, they're back up here. They're going to start mounting a defense if they're not soon. There we go. Dead going down first. And Team Rage here are making a defense of this. They look like they were struggling 30 seconds ago.
You can't peek this one by one the way they are right now. They need to be more organized in the way that they're pushing into it. Let's see. Over the top, Lassa peeks one. Not going to find anything. Actually, it's going to be Hibaku way on the other side. Finding the knock. Thunder want a piece of this. They're pushing full speed forward. They want to try and see if they can third party this. They want to eliminate both teams at once, not having to worry about anyone as the new circle pubs.
And that is ridiculous. We now have Road to Glory and Team Rage both out. So it really does go to show whoever fights last seems to be winning these at the moment. Hal continuing to move into Sakura Zensen. Neither of them are in phase 5, by the way, and Team Liquid might be coming into mop up as well. So very much a third party after third party after third party here in our first game of day 2.
Loving the way Thunder just took matters into their own hands on that one. They knew that we do not have the time to sit around here and fight whoever wins that one. If we can take out both of them with one swoop, then that's what's going to happen, and that's exactly what did happen. Howl, in the meantime, we haven't seen a lot of them in the early parts of this game, but they made a very smart rotation in phase 3. When the circle went west, they were pretty much the only team to say, you know what, we're not going to go through the cluster that is the east and the north side of this. We're going to wrap into the blue all the way south around and get into the circle that way. And that's why, like, literally the reason why they've been able to maintain 4 people on their feet and pretty much not take any damage whatsoever, because they did the right decision in wrapping south when no one else did.
That's the problem with those kind of fights, isn't it? Because we start off with, oh, I love the way Footballers responded to this, followed by, I love the way Road to Glory responded to this, followed by, I love the way Thunder responded to this. But it's true. That's how competitive PUBG works, guys. If you hear everyone else is fighting and you don't have to fight them at full strength, you absolutely want to go into this fight. Don't make any opponents.
Speed forward. To them. In the blue as well. Not sure what impact he gave from this in the meantime. Still in the vehicle double. Going down to blue, not a whole lot more you can do. Unfortunately, the tires going up to the vehicle, and down he falls. Evie finds the kill, but now the rest of the Thunder players not ready to take a break.
Slippy Zerg managing to get Haruto on the top there. Reckon Kaya now moving. Cooking this nade potentially. I think it went a little bit far. Would have actually gotten the knock, sees Mika as well, and knows he has to actually get his gun out because they are liable to come out. This is really
skate back on the east side, wanting to be the last team to move in and out. Because of it, they allow for everyone to grab it in front of them. They are forced to take the fights up close and then skate to close.
All of this is going on in Thunder are eliminated now because Skade managed to get that backfill. We still have Sakura Zensen fighting Team Liquid. And the teams we're not really talking about. Ents, super quiet. Killing. They're on the northern side of the game for maybe a third party, but they don't.
So finds James now. He is there to respond. James does fall at the end of it. The show does clips a Liquid out in 7th place, but again, I can't help. I need to continue to just the way they've approached this, we need to wrap around both Liquid and ready for potential push.
As long as one of them continues watching that angle, the moment something happens, they know to disengage. Absolutely fine. But if you shoot someone in front of you, you go, I've got a knock, go quick, and then everyone walks in the same direction. That's when the backstabbers get used.
See here as well, they could technically just stay down in the compound and not really care too much, but they push up with 3, they know they need get down inside the compound itself and then pushing 3 up on the hill. Very counteractive play. Playing for
ยืนรอเลยนะ
I mean, look, it's phase 6. There are 20 people left alive, and Ents have control of 70% per circle. Like, I don't really know how else I can put that. That's amazing stuff. And everyone else has to push into them, so all of the other teams into each other even faster than they otherwise would have done, and that's causing chaos everywhere except
down. Howl still alive. One of the potentially pushes on over, but actually they are by taking the space. The opposing teams that much closer to one another. So they can just sit around and wait for the final 2 potentially 3 I mean, Howl will have to fight either Regma or Skate. Depending where phase 7 goes, we'll have to make a move as well.
อ๋อนั่นเหลืองอะ
they're relatively chilling out. Slippy Zerg at the moment is just relaxing in the fire. Point as well. Hal now looking over at Pixelic. Basically, everyone who crests the edge of a valley risks getting third-partied from absolutely everyone. Pixel and Ibby going down basically in successive seconds there, because as soon as they poke their head up...
One side at this point. I mean, again, they could just sit tight, but with Northern Lights continuing to to be open, all of a sudden that's where the backstep comes in. You want to commit to one, and it seems to me like Jens is committed to the southeast.
To allow Northern Lights a bit of freedom to move into Skade as well. Regular flying now. Final 4 here. Skade struggling a little bit as Northern Lights flex their legs just a tad. Count that's going to be in blue in just a second. They've got the northern sort of third quarter of the circle, if you like, Ents at the southern half. Or I should just say Dempsey at this point. They're the ones on the edge.
Down on that southern side, but a lot of open. I'm curious to see how Ents is going to play over into sit tight. The thing is, I think they stay here at this point because the circle between south and they're relying on Squeaky to be the overview from down in the game. Does have a good angle here from the Howl, but 4 Howl players come and that's a time find NLT push as well. That's going to be very hard to hold off, friends.
Lou is very exposed on the northern side. He will be able to see one player at a time. But as soon as an Ents player multiple people will get an angle, so he has to be super wary relative to the rest of the team. In the meantime, Spyro are watching up above at Howl. Dempsey's sort of in the middle of this nice little trough, and he doesn't want to move so that he can find a way to
take land, take as much as you can. Have 5 issues with the terrain that you're seeing and forced to make those peaks. Now, I think, honestly, I mean, the kind of the trigger point to this, what could really escalate the situation would be Dempsey. If Howl peeks over, finds Dempsey, maybe Luke peeks, finds a knock in return, and that's when all hell could break loose, and the the end of the game here could be over.
Yeah.
So I think Dempsey's move is going to be what's going to trigger. The thing is, could also be wrong. Matt falls down over peak and trying to find Dempsey. They knew there was a skate player still left alive, but as you can see here, there's still space. They are already in. There is still
and Spyro fighting instead. I'd be very careful pushing there if I were them. I'm not sure how much Northern Lights know about Gemty. You know, Hal definitely know about Gemty because they were engaged in battle.
So if Spiro and Luke find Gemty, that's going to open up the entire way. but as you can see, as soon as he shoots towards Jamsey, he's getting shot at in return from the other side. Louis does find.
And that initial knock was fantastic. Followed by a second one as well onto Lou and Spyro. Perfecting now, struggling to contain Northern Lights. And there were two people who pushed back up there before he even realized the game goes down. That's the man from Hal managing just in time for Northern Lights to go down in third. It's Ents versus
Ents has full control. That's one over, but they don't even overexpend their fools. It's a now the full back they can hold off against Howl here. Howl, again, impressive how they've come into this end game. Look at them on the first Ents as 9. Howl this one, yep, make that 4, never mind. But the way that they've approached this Howl has been on the move with pretty much every single circle shift, and they've done it like they've made the right.
That's going to matter in terms of utility, right? Howl they can still win this game, but they have to play so smart against it.
Sure do remember. I mean, Howl had a win yesterday as well. Grab one here, but it does look to be in the favor of Ents. This one, no way around it. Tixu peeking on over spots.
Nice.
The Matt, no way he's going to be able to get back on his feet now. Second shot comes from Ruin, taken down by Squeaky as well. Just 2 players left alive. They still got utility to use, but they ain't too fussed to use it. Frost and Ma peeks on over, third down, fourth down. Squeaky holds the angle, and Ents get themselves a win.
Very nicely executed there. You could tell that Howl, there was a little bit of panic setting in once they got the first knock. Ruin decided to try and push in just that little bit further so that he could maybe get a return frag. That cost him his life, and suddenly it was a 4v2 and Ents snowballed it from there. Very patient, very well executed final fight.
Incredibly well executed, honestly. I mean, the way, again, many teams would have opted to stay down in that low point compound where they would then have been kept out from the circle once we shifted uphill. Ents knew exactly when to make that move. They did it right. They came up. They never overextended while they had the chance to. They always said, nope, we didn't like what we saw. We fall back. We take the next fight. That's what they did. That's how they got themselves to win.
So the circle was in favor of Ents. Was it easy for them? Well, they didn't sit back. They still got 13 kills. Let's find out what the desk thought.
I gave them a bit of a hard time yesterday because I said that they didn't show up. So they made sure that they showed up right away on day number 2. Ents taking that chicken dinner. Kalaris, do you think it was their early rotations that got them the victory there?
Well, I mean, wide was the name of the game for Ents. Coming in from south of Cruz de Valle, going all the way north up towards Oasis, waiting and going, swinging all the way around west. Can't even say that, it's too many W's. But there you go, Ents here, being able to clutch prime real estate whilst making that happen. And then I love the push out Avenger up onto kind of the hillside to make sure they can start holding some of these teams at bay instead of chilling in the compound.
Yeah, there's so many decisions throughout here for Ents that actually set them up for this one. Obviously, being on the east side or the west side of Cruz, looking towards that here on the east, they're on the and they can see all the high ground. Well, that means that there has to be a lot of teams on the east side. If we go all the way north or go on the west side, there's going to be less teams, which is completely correct, and I anticipated that. And they swung on it. They played extremely well. Obviously, they have Squeaky into the compound, scout that compound fast and solve it, making sure that letting LT get in behind them, because that is, they closed down LT completely in that end game. That's perfect. And then obviously setting it up, making sure that they were the team that kind of putting them into a compact area, basically. 20 points to the lead, 1 more point than they had yesterday, right? That's what we talked about in the opening there. Yeah. All the teams, they can do this in one game, and they'll be straight into the top 4.
No, indeed. I mean, some people might look and think to themselves, but when they got there was no one there, so they were quite fortunate, right? Well, I mean, actually, that compound, in theory, could actually house 2. The fact that maybe had a little bit of conflict, but they could still survive in towards the later stage of the game, and then maybe play out.
Nice.
It is curious to me if you take a look at Ents' the far avoiding those teams. But Howl on the other side coming second, Avenger, they ended up having to really go to battle. Yet they were still able to do it. So just a polar opposite of the two teams maybe.
For sure. I mean, in a look at this. Yeah. How?
คู่นั้น
12.
ไกลเกิน
Sorry, I lost my thought. What did we talk about now?
I do actually think that we were talking about Howl, and I mean, what I do want to say is they have actually been really impressive because they have I'm somewhat surprised. It's not really the team that I thought I would be seeing up there.
No, again, we are only one game deep and one game on secondary. Obviously, good to see him on 5. Best eyebrows in the business. I got.
เดินสุดครับผม
Looks good. I like the guy. But yeah, how actually trying to scout
ไม่ได้เล่นเลยสักสาม
decided
ชีวิต
taking, but the way that they ended up was getting in under that hill and in some of those dips and that kind of plane crash high ground there. Sakura's up there. There's multiple teams, and them being able to get in here and actually get second with all 4 guys alive was extremely impressive to me. They got some kills for it. They made sure they pushed all the teams on the high ground away from their side, kind of saying, all right, guys, this angle is kind of close. So they forced all the other teams to fight each other. They didn't get as many kills out of it as I was hoping for, but Howl really set them up nicely for a good late game there.
Avenger, they're actually called the eyebrows of domination here from
That's true.
Smokey. Yeah.
The MVP eyebrows.
That's right, yeah. So look what he's able to put up as well. But I kind of got to echo some of your sentiments about Howl here. I think that they did a really good job of actually kind of moving through that kind of high ground area, being patient about where they were going to move. They were up against the edge of the circle for quite a while during that, but they're taking fights against extremely experienced teams on this stage. And kind of, as you say, Sam, following through from some of that momentum that they ended yesterday with. So very, very impressive to see Howl do this.
I know that the chat's going to be happy because they got a lot of fans. NLT showing up today as well in the first game, Polaris.
Yeah, and they had a pretty decent spot for all intents and purposes. I mean, they did lose the Tulins early, right, Martin? Which, given that they go for the split and try and work things out from there. But where they were patient. They kind of moved up to that high ground to take a few fights here and there. But it was going to be difficult for them to start encroaching on some of that territory that the other teams had taken.
Yeah, Ents had already taken the position that NLT was supposed to be pushing in on, also having Squeaky play from a safe position and kind of playing anchor, pushing them away, making sure that they went the other way. It forced them into a situation where they were not going to be able to, unless they wanted to take an open fight with somebody that had like a DMR far away, plus the guys that were going to be 3 up in their face. It was going to be hard no matter what, taking a 3 versus 4.
ไม่เล่นไกลกันนะไอ้เหี้ย
I know that you're in the chat and you desperately want it, so we're gonna drop it. All the time.
Why
Redeem this
can't I
coupon
do
code and pick the winning teams. You can earn some EP, and then you can spend that on some pretty rad CS6 skins. As easy as that. James taking a look at all that action. Game number 1. Big similar aggression. We saw a lot of the, I call them big guys, teams starting to show up a little bit today, Avenger.
Yeah, we used to call them the Big 5 with a little bit of emphasis, but now it's the Big 8, and it's actually not 8 anymore because we only have these kind of 6, maybe 7 teams sometimes that are doing really well that we consistently see in the top 8 of these tournaments here, and I think it's going to continue. We might even go down to 5 but we have seen, some good. I will say this particular circle. I will say that hard to predict, and they can swing kind of ways. So that's why we see a little bit more passive playstyle. Once we see that second circle, and then that's where the teams decide based on what they determine that their biggest chances is to get into the late game. And that's unfortunately also why we lost an LT. They had a 2-1-1 split, extremely greedy, but they wanted to make sure they had a foot inside those shifts.
We will take a look at how the results of this game impact the overall standings right after this short break.
Hay gì vậy? Oh. ดซองเฮียมันโคตรเบาเลยสัสไม่หันมึงไอ้ใครยิงวะใครยิงกูอีกแล้วไอ้สัตว์อ้าว
Hopefully your drinks are refilled, you've got your snacks so that we can move into the second game. But before we do that, of course, the most important thing is to see how the results from game number 1 impact the overall standings. All of those teams competing for their share of the prize pool, also those PGC points, and taking a look at this. Not too much of a change there, Kalaris.
Not too much, not too much. Obviously for Entropic, this was kind of a bit of a dud game, not really much to be able to speak about from there. Skade, though, damn, being able to move up to second place off the back of this, the points that they were able to accrue. And Jempty was absolutely instrumental
For sure.
in making that towards the end. Do we ever doubt Jempty, really?
No. There's two. I have a funny story and a funny little story here. Yesterday, I talked to some of the other guys, and he said there's just some players that you always know where. And with Jempty, he's and he's gonna somehow salvage the game and get top 4. Or if you're playing, versus 3 or 4 members of Skate, Jempty's gonna be the guy flanking. He's gonna be on the edge. You're always gonna expect him like coming up behind you or coming off and flanking you, and that is always where Jempty is. And that is something that's been super special for Jempty since the years to come here. Is that once they go into this kind of salvage mode, Jempty's just able to get those, top 4, top 5, top 3 places and squeeze those extra points out, which is extremely crucial when we're playing 30 points or 30 games per tournament here. Because if you're able to squeeze out on an average, 1, 2, 3 extra points for your team when you're alone or as 2 players, that is just going to be massive points.
You know the funny thing about that as well? Skade was the team that held Team Liquid out in this game. So perfect.
I know.
It's picture perfect.
I'm pretty sure they remember that as well. Maybe they had a little bit of a giggle with each other in the server. Heroic, though, dropping to 13th. Avenger, should they be concerned? It is, or I always say this, and then I think, it's the start of day 2. There's always week 2. But
They
should
just
they be
came home.
concerned?
They just came home from boot camp. They've only been home for a couple of days, and all these excuses are not something that I'm fond of. But you have to remember, this is the number 1 or number 2 PGC 2021 team, right? They were the only one that were even close to competing with New Happy at the very top in the grand final. They are a fantastic roster, and I'm pretty sure they'll come back into it. They have to.
อะไรอยู่วะ
I'm
เนี่ย
not
ที่
sure
มัน
if
เกิ
it's
ดหลั
gonna
งกูอี
happen
กแล้ว
this day or if it's gonna happen next weekend, but I'm sure they're gonna be stepping up here. I see a lot of teams on the right hand side of the board here that is extremely surprising. First of all, that they are there now, but I'll be even more surprised if they end up being there once we're done.
I mean, as much as you say, Avenger, that there's still a second week, Lars, the truth is you don't want to be chasing points in the second week. You want to set yourself up that you can have a little bit of a cushion if you like.
No, indeed, yeah. You want to be ready and rocking going into that second week. Everybody's going to be analysing what happens.
And we're now ready and rocking to go into game number 2. Toby, Josa, the mics are yours.
Thank you very much, Sam. We have game number 2 on the way now, and a relatively chilled out plane path, roughly 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock, across the center of the map. Toby looking pretty chill once again, but in our experience, a neutral plane path doesn't mean a calm game.
Oh no, believe me. I mean, the more kind of player friendly the plane paths tend to be, that more brutal are the circles usually. Having said that, last game gave us kind of both a simple plane path and a simple circle. At least to start off with phase 3, that part in Southwest was brutal, I'm not gonna lie. And despite that, a lot of teams
ยิง
actually
ยากอะไรขนาดนี้เนี่ยไอ้เหี้ย
everything considered. But here, I mean, it's once again one of those where everyone can go where they want. Probably won't see any early fights over anything. Maybe a shot or two fired. We're seeing 2.5 teams down in the area for us, Leonis. But again, no confrontations as we like to see.
Los Leones, very easy to house 2 or 3 teams. Not really difficult. I get the feeling footballers might even consider going beyond. We'll have to wait and see. We've got Reg or Slippy Zerg so close to the rest of footballers as well. Were they going for the vehicle? Slippy Zerg just wants to get into the 5-stack. He manages to get that at least. They split the road here. So everyone lands safely, but it's not comfortable.
You say safely, Slippy. I'm assuming, I was just gonna say, I'm assuming Lyron is gonna come down here to help. They know for a fact there's a solo player in this compound, and well, as much as I want to focus on this, I also have to take a look on the right side of the screen right now, because look at this first circle. We talked about brutal circles off of simple plane pass. This is it. I mean, everyone's going to be trying to grab them from the south. We might see a couple of teams wanting to do the far north and rotate around, but that's going to take teams a lot of time. And if there's a lot to be said about the circle, but let's keep our focus here first.
And don't forget, this is especially if he goes up on the roof, which is a bit more dangerous because nearby, you essentially have a staircase to do. So it is actually possible to defend it. They're right to aggress. It's a 3v1, but you also have to bear in mind it's a dangerous situation as well, because one guy with a shotgun on the roof can spoil your day.
Yep, Slippy hops up on the roof, not wanting to take down. You can see Medbay and Mer actually making their way down to this direction. They do not have vehicles, so it's going to take them a bit longer, but I'm liking this position from him. I'm liking the fact that he's up to set up here. Gluttony is far east of here, not really a factor in this right now, so all the opponents are inside the compound. Now Lyron peeks on out. Will he spot Slippy? Slippy ain't really peeking in that direction right now. Down. Out goes one. No knocks coming in first time round. Medbay is on the other side, though. Finds one. And that's the issue. Once you jump out that window and you get knocked, there's no getting back in. So Lyron falls. Football is Odin down to no HP. And this setup, I mean, considering how they, like, neither team really wanted this to begin with, and what Greg has done with it, I think it's very impressive. Slaving playing the only spot he can where he has the upper hand. And the Medbay's position in that situation, they're perfect as well.
I'm going to be a little bit if footballers know that their target has gone up on the roof, they should have asked Gluttony to have a sight on the roof, because imagine you have someone off in the distance with a DMR able to stop you from having free reign on the roof. That changes the whole dynamic of the situation, and it makes it super easy for footballers. So the fact that they didn't have that with Gluttony and still tried to push out anyway,
coming from, because they know, I mean, okay, we were not fast enough. They're like, Regnum is going to be coming, so we want to deal with this before it's too late. But now, I mean, as we see, it's just not going their way. Had they waited those extra couple of seconds, and as you were saying, correctly stated, so allowing for Gluttony to get the angle on the roof, Slippy would have been taken down with ease, and that would have been a whole other game. But now Gluttony having to try and see if he can assist. They didn't manage to get the rest onto Odin either, so currently it's a 2v4.
I don't know to what extent the analyst desk might disagree with me here, but I would say if Gluttony at the start of this fight was where he is now, easy win for footballers. They would have been able to get that one kill and then just hold the 5-stack and work it out from there. But now it's turning into a little bit of a nightmare. Regnum Karya, they're flowing in. There's really not much Gluttony can do. I don't think he wants to push in here. He's completely isolated from Nail Cup. And now that they're inside the building, what can Gluttony do?
Nothing. Essentially, there is. I mean, unless if it ups the push down and help. But also, I want to say, I mean, we just saw how hard it was for footballers to push these stairs. With all of them being in here now, there is a world. He's going to do the exact same thing as Slippy just did. I was just going to say, there is a world where the tides turn right after the tides have just turned. I mean, he is doing exactly what Slippy just did. The issue is Medibay is on the other side, and now they know he's on the roof.
Okay, so at least they have someone watching, which is going to be so important. We've also got a DBS, though. It's a DBS. Don't do this. talking about this. Oh my god.
3, he finds all of them, and Metabase on the other side.
Oh
Yeah, but
my
it-
god.
หายสับหมด
Wow. Okay.
หมดเลย
This
We
is.
would-
There's
I don't
so
know.
much irony in play here. The fact that Slippy, as a solo, did this, knew what to do, reset that with what they were given, they did exactly the right thing, and the fact that they then died to the exact same that is not something you see very often.
No, it's really rare to see a team correctly analyze what the other team did wrong, capitalize on it, and then go absolutely all in on the that was wild. I'm not gonna lie, that was a very interesting start here to back 7.
The food is flying all over the place with how fast it is. I mean, that was happening back to back. Somehow, Footballers is the team to come out. I saw that happening initially, then I didn't, then I did, then I didn't, and then they did. So,
It was
impressive.
really cool the first time. We get to talk about it, analyze the play, explain what and why, and we got to see it play out. I just didn't realize someone hit the instant replay button.
No, that's. I mean, usually we say, okay, they're gonna see what the work, and then they gotta come back to that. Footballers did that like 4 seconds later, and one thing, in my opinion, with that building in particular, when you're kind of outnumbered, that is the only thing. I'm not surprised by the fact they do it. The fact that Red Ones aren't, because they weren't prepared for it. It's a bad situation to be in. Now, well, speaking of bad situations to be in, you don't want to get caught off guard. That's exactly what just happened to Team Liquid. As a matter of fact,
So similar to what we talked about yesterday, halfway through the day, guys, because we have this, there's probably we're getting what is essentially an accelerator zone, where the teams are jockeying to get in, and as a result, they're really packed together in the middle of the circle. Than usual, dying as a result. But it's also possible that phase 2, once it shifts away from the water, which might not be phase 2, but could be, ends up being very quiet as a result. The game to be a bit more spicy, and we will get a quiet period a little bit later.
that I'm surprised to see how far up go, but the issue is with that area of the map in particular, when you come in from the south, like up until where you are, where they like this is perfectly positioned by a truck, because the way that Liquid comes into this, because you're going uphill the way that they did there, they have no way of scouting it, no way at all of knowing what's waiting for them on the hillside. So for Intrust, it's the only real place on that like roadblock from, and they set it up perfectly.
Bear in mind as well, that they have to rotate a little further later on in the game, because they are one of the teams that are closest to the beach. So, yes, they're going to get some kills. Yes, they have a good roadblock set up now, but they also have a little bit more work to do later as well. So it'll be interesting to see what their rotation pattern looks like.
Opting to go north of the Death Valley here. Team who's currently in the compound down below, they have shown earlier, so I'm pretty convinced that we're going to go there. There's a team in the while making his way further north, and that's exactly what it does. Circle, well, send this up, and I don't think more teams in this circle. Off
Yeah,
where you
this
put
is
it.
จัดจัด
Centering up, that looks like it's going to be relatively for most teams. Real panic is that this is the part of the game where we might actually get a little bit of a break zombie. I think this should be pretty chill. Only 1 or 2 teams left.
I mean, now you said that. Now half the server is gonna die in the next 4 minutes. That's just that's how it works as a cast person. Now everything is gonna go go crazy. But no, I would agree with you that on paper, when we look at this right now, because there are already so many teams inside the circle, I wouldn't expect promotion. But then and then all of a sudden, it turned out not to be. For example, here, FX, unfortunately, heading a fence that he couldn't quite get through, forced out of the vehicle, and now they could have been already lost the earlier. So, Face Clan already lost the earlier. Take this fight now.
บังกูทำ
Open to them at the moment. I don't think Skate wants to. Like, cities, again, always easy to get into, really difficult to get out of.
Yeah.
There is a chance it moves north. I
The-
feel like they hold. I think they hold.
The issue is Skate is sitting in a wide freeway split, and it's so wide. I mean, while not be that far in distance, there are still so many buildings that really do anything to cover one another. Should get engaged. I like the fact that Skate didn't overcommit, but now just kind of accept the fact that there's a team sitting in between them, which will make it that much harder. But we'll see.
Having a think and deciding to turn away. Quiet here. Even get into it. Really, this is just information gathering unless he gets a sure knock, which is completely.
With your teammates, correct is still on the car, not really in a position to help, and T-Bone so yes, as you were saying, if not with 3 people come pulling up as a result of this, and you go down, well, now you're not just going to get back on his feet, and you will have lost the player. So, smart and good trigger discipline from H there, and Double. Now, obviously, I mean, considering the fact that he didn't fire, Double has no clue that everything he does in this position is very exposed.
มันคือสารที่ทำงานละ
Correct there.
Speaking of,
He wants the car to stop, but very spotted at the moment. Team Liquid don't really want another run-in with Entropic until they have full scouting information and know exactly where they are. Vard now very much
kind of
ที่ผ่านมาคือสารที่ทำงาน
just info gather, as you were saying, for his team. Don't take fights. Just tell the rest of your team exactly what's happening around
เอาไอ้เหี้
you.
ยไปไหนหมด
Him, and in the meantime, trying to get back to safety. He's been kind of all over the place so far. He started by, I mean, he tried to regroup with his teammates, but then he was not allowed to because of where Entropic was positioned. So he had to go back out. Now, fortunately, he's been able to get back to his teammates. But it took quite a while for him to. This is gonna spend. Nope, quite.
มีเรื่องที่มันไม่ดี
This is going to be fun indeed. So, the circle here, this is phase 3, west of Al Azahar. Where northern lights are now that you can see on your mini-map, it's a giant valley. Huge cliffs on both sides, and you can see, look there, they're getting the gas station now, but if you're in the middle and you need to go up either side, you're in for a world of hurt. This is a really interesting part of the map.
I can't help but think that we're getting a northern hardship here after this, which would be
I think it's gonna be on the road,
absolutely
right?
terrible.
It'll
I
be
would.
north
It
versus
would
south,
have to
I
be
think.
west to some extent because of the hillside down south of Face Clan, but I just feel like that mountain is so big that there's no way that at least parts of it won't be inside the circle. If that's the case, well, we could pretty much go anywhere. So, everyone, get excited for Phase 4. I'm curious to see how many teams are going to just say, you know what, we're not even going to bother trying to math this one. Let's just send it into Al-Azhar and play, like, just say, we'll play from there. We hope the circles go there. Having to get
Yeah,
out
no
from there,
one's
we
doing
know
that.
it's going to be hard. No one's done it yet, but I feel like Skate and FaZe will not be the only 2 teams inside Al-Azhar by the end of the circle.
I'm inclined to agree with you. This is, yeah, it's interesting.
That's the first one.
There we go. Entropic instantly right on cue, Toby. Absolutely spot on there. But keeping to the outskirts of Al Azhar, so they want to come in such a way that they can keep the vehicles safe.
Oh, yeah.
There's a very easy avenue of escape up to the north. Oh, whoa. And Lucarux, well, we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
No harm done. We didn't see anything in the kill feed, so therefore there was no.
Yeah, therefore it was fine.
Nothing happened, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
All is good, all is calm. I mean,
Worst things happen at sea.
For Thunder right now, they're playing a 2-2 split in probably the most favorable position in this circle right now. I don't want to say I wanted to see them play a 3-1 split and only have one in the compound, but I'm going to put it this way. They have to be very ready to rotate as soon as maybe even before the next circle pops, because if that goes north, they cannot maintain that 2-way split. And I think they're very well aware of that.
Road to glory here. We've got 3 vehicles and someone setting up smoke signals. So having the last car in your convoy being the one on the lowest hit point can be a little bit tricky, but I think they're nearing their destination here. They're happy to live relatively close to where FaZe Clan are. Vard from Team Liquid, the only surviving member here, unfortunately might get in the way of both of them. So he wants to take a look and get a bit of
เอ
scouting
อแต่
info,
ถ้าไม่หลุดก็อาจจะ
but realistically, he doesn't want to get involved until they
อาจจะ
fight.
ได้อยู่
Vard is gonna get me so many fantasy points. I can feel it. He's either he's gonna win the game or he's just gonna, yep, he's gonna pop off soon.
I'm with you.
As soon as Road to Glory goes back down the hillside, which they will, even though that would make no sense, then Vard is just gonna stand up on the ridge, shoot at everyone in the city, and get like 10 kills. I'm excited for it.
Yep. Waiting.
That is what's gonna happen.
That's the voice of desperation from someone who has 2 members of Team Liquid. I can hear
Bye, lad.
Ryan's voice in the back of my head. I've got VOD as well, though, so I'm not allowed to complain. Next circle does